What's up, everyone? A few weeks back, we posted a story on Instagram where we said we would do a making of our song Sudden Death if it would reach 5k streams on Spotify. And it did. It actually already hit 10k, so I'm a little bit late. So without further ado, let's jump into the project. The song starts off with a very dark and atmospheric intro. There are only like three main things going on. That would be the pad. Really nothing special. Then we have two layers of impacts. Yeah. Pretty simple, and a kind of bassy one shot, and together they sound like this. And with the pad it sounds like this. There are only a few things more that I added into the intro. Some effects. And there's also a saw layer that just sounds very creepy. Just to give it some flavor. And I also introduced the main melody in the intro. Yeah, just parts of the melody. And then in the second half, the whole melody filtering in into the breakdown. And in the second half of the intro, there's also an arpeggiator coming in. It's just a silent preset I cut off automated. So that's pretty much the intro. Now to the break. In the break, the main thing is the melody, which sounds like this. It's a layer of two synths. This weirder one. The weirder one is layered with this very aggressive. They are both one-shots from sample packs. I just pitched a bit around to like make this melody out of them. I didn't sound design them myself, as I would usually do. But in this case, the one-shots did a great job. And there's also a brass shot. It sounds like shit on its own. In the whole mix, it works. And in breakdown, I added the claps. Just to give the whole thing some hype, I guess, leading into the build-up. It's basically still the breakdown. It's just the second half of the break where I added build-up snares. And of course some effects. And then there's a more empty part before the drop, like pre-drop thing. There's this weird fill. I actually wanted to do something more clean, but in this case this fill really worked. And then there's also the bass being introduced. I think I did some frequency shifter automation, pitching down. and an auto filter and a reverb that's doing like a reverse washout, if that makes sense. Straightforward rhythm drums. Every now and then there's a kick, giving it some groove. So the main thing in the drop is the bass, obviously. And the bass is a layer of 4 basses, synths. They're all pretty the same, actually. And all together they sound like this. I won't go into detail of all of the sounds that are layered, but the main thing here is, just some FM modulation in Serum, and then like a really, really fast delay that gives it all this robotic metallic sound, and then just OTT the hell out of it and it sounds good. And then there's also this growl. That's basically just a growl wavetable with bend plus and minus modulation inside of Serum, and then just some distortion, EQing, filtering. And right here is the same bass, just with an auto pan on it. That's on 1/16 notes to give it the kind of rhythm, and the bass just a distorted sine wave. And then in the second half of the drop, it's basically just the same as the first half, with the melody of the break layered over the bass. And then it goes straight into the second verse, or I don't know, break. And this section is basically just the same as the intro. Just the only thing I added is an almond break. There's a filter on it and a little bit of reverb to make it more spacey. And then basically the whole thing repeats itself into the second drop. Not a big change, just a small fake out. I just removed the drums, and when the drums come back in, the bass just follows a static 1/8 note rhythm. And after the fill, before the second half, it goes back to normal with the behemoth rhythm. And the only thing that's different here in the second half of the second drop, in comparison to the second half of the first drop, is I added the brass shots in. And it then just ends with the impact from the intro. It's pretty damn simple, and it's not a big project, just like 53 tracks. That's not much. I usually have way more tracks. Very way more tracks, as Carnage would say. But yeah, that's basically it. It's the first time I've done this, so maybe it's a bit chaotic. We released a new track last Friday, so check that out. No Time. It's a bass house track. Link is in the description. Follow us on our social medias. All the links are in the description. If you like this video, leave a like, obviously. No, just kidding. Subscribe to our channel for more content like this, and leave a comment on what you want to see next, or what we could do in the future, or some feedback, what I can do better. See you next time.